Welcome back to Photography Talk. For years, Apple has told us they would never make a touchscreen Mac. They laughed it off, they brushed away the rumors, and they doubled down that the idea of Macs were strictly keyboard and mouse, while iPads were meant to be touch first. But friends, things are starting to change. The latest reports say we might actually see a touchscreen MacBook Pro. And this isn't some minor update. No, we're talking about OLED displays with richer color, more iPad-like functionality for day-to-day use, and even whispers of a brand new low-cost MacBook that could change the entry-level game. Now, for us photographers, videographers, and creatives, this could mean an absolute massive shift. Now, these devices aren't just tools, they are backbones to how we edit, how we create, how we deliver our work that we do on a day-to-day basis. So today, let's break down exactly what's happening and why it matters so much to the creative community. Now, Apple executives, they have spent years dismissing the idea that a touchscreen MacBook, calling it impractical, even silly. They've even said it wasn't necessary. But here we are again, 2025. This time, the rumor comes in from Ming-Chi Kuo, a supply chain analyst who's been very reliable in the past. He says touchscreen MacBook Pros are expected into mass production by late 2026. And yes, we've all heard versions of this rumor before, but this one, I gotta say, it feels a little different. The timing matches up with Apple's broader strategy. The technology is finally ready, and honestly, the creative community has been asking for this intuitive input options for years. And in the past, it always felt like more like wishful thinking, but right now, the sign suggests Apple is finally preparing to cross that line. So why would Apple consider making this move right now? Well, let's look at what they've been doing with the iPad. So over the last several years, we've seen keyboards and trackpad accessories and iPad OS updates that make the iPad feel a lot more like a laptop. Apple has already admitted that both input styles, touch and keyboard, have value when combined. So why not flip it the other way and give Mac some touch functionality as well? For Apple, this feels like a very natural continuation of the work that they've already been building into these devices. Now, here's where it really hits home for us. Now, I've been using Macs for over 2 decades, and in the last 5 years especially, the upgrades have been absolutely incredible, crushing it. Now, if Apple puts OLED into the MacBook Pro, we're talking truer blacks, higher contrast, and unmatched color accuracy, and this is the kind of display you actually trust when editing photos or color grading videos. Now, at a touchscreen, imagine pinching and zooming into a raw image with your fingers, or making a quick brush adjustment in Lightroom or Photoshop right on the screen itself, or better yet, even sketching edits on the fly. Sure, there might be some downgrades or downsides to this, fingerprints, ergonomics, maybe even a little bit more battery drain, but if Apple gets this right, it could transform how we interact with our creative tools. And let me throw this question at you. If you had a touchscreen MacBook Pro, how would you use it in your workflow? Editing photos, sketching designs, or maybe not at all? Now, of course, we can't ignore the fact that Windows PCs, they've had touchscreens for the better part of a decade. Windows 8 kicked it off in 2012, and while not every design decision landed well, Microsoft's Surface lineup has proven there is absolutely demand. I actually had a chance of working with Microsoft when they launched the original Surface Book and the Surface Book 2, and I have to say, these computers were impressive, actually very impressive, and they were fun to use. The build quality, the performance, the detachable design, Microsoft really went all in, and it really worked out for them. Now, if I wasn't such a diehard Apple user, friends, I could have easily jumped over at the time, because the cool factor was really right there. But here is the difference. Apple doesn't rush. They wait until the experience is absolutely flawless. And if they're ready to make the move now, it means the hardware, the software, and the user experience are finally at the level Apple feels comfortable putting their name on it. Now, When can we expect all of this? Well, Bloomberg's Mark Gurman predicted touchscreen Macs would land in 2025, but according to Kuo, it looks more like that 2026 number or date that we spoke about earlier. So we still have a little bit of time to wait. But here is another twist. Rumors of a low-cost MacBook entering production as early as late 2025, so not too far ahead here. Now this one might run on a A-series iPhone processor to cut costs, making it a true budget option. Think of it like a modern replacement for the old M1 MacBook Air, which you can still find on Amazon and Walmart for around $600. The big question is this: would Apple sell it exclusively through retailers or offer it directly on their own stores? Either way, it could shake up Apple's entry-level lineup in a very big way. And here's the bottom line with all of this as we start winding down this video. Apple is still focused on us, the creative professionals. And for decades, Macs have been the go-to choice for photographers, videographers, and designers and musicians. I think a touchscreen MacBook Pro with OLED could be much more than an upgrade. It would be a new way of working for us, for photographers. I mean, for color accuracy that you can trust when preparing prints. For videographers, it means smoother HDR grading and cinematic previews right on your laptop. And for digital artists, well, it opens up intuitive sketching and editing possibilities without adding all sorts of extra hardware. Now, as I mentioned before, I've been a Mac user for over 20 years, and every major transition from Intel to Apple Silicon, from spinning drives to SSDs, have pushed the creative experience forward. So if Apple manages to nail this, a touchscreen OLED MacBook Pro could be one of the biggest leaps yet. But here's the big question for you. I want to ask you, would you actually use a touchscreen on your MacBook Pro, or do you think this feature Apple should leave on the iPad? Drop your thoughts in your comments down below. I'd love to hear what you think. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming around the corner. All right, friends, that's all I got. I'll be shutting off the cameras, and I will see you in the next video.